back to the reality of that situation. It was hard to hear that information. And it was also a lot of things kind of were happening. And also at the same time, nothing was happening mentally. So as soon as he was trying to do a procedure, didn't really know what he was talking about. It was pretty much, I was like, it's okay. I'm not really interested in that. And we left. We checked out and we left. More so, we checked out of the office. Mm-hmm. But really what happened is when we walked out of the door, in my own heart, that was when, I didn't say this out loud, but for me, I walked out the door and said, like, I'm done. Like this is it. That was it. This is over. Yeah. And I remember what it looked like outside. I remember walking to the car and really feeling just defeated.
Yeah.
And again, the timeline is this was in 2022, and we had been trying since 2017.
Yeah.
So it was that moment that, I was done.
Yeah.
And
that drive home.
Yeah. And maybe I did say that to you. No, maybe I didn't say that to you because I just remember you were just crying.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know what to say. Like I was trying to like be encouraging to you. I was trying to encourage myself, but it was just really a weird feeling. I don't know. I don't want to take that time away from you too, because I think a lot was going on with you at that time too.
It's hard thinking back on it again.
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah, that was really hard because I knew that it was the end of the road for us trying to conceive. And like saying that out loud is just like hard even today. You just like all these years from 2017 trying all these different things, like I think I said this before, but you like hone in on like what the problem is, and you're getting to the root of it, and you're figuring out what the problem is. You're seeing what I've said before, you're seeing these like little glimmers of hope and everything. And then that moment happens. And even though I did not like that doctor, I think he knows how to read tests. I think he knew kind of maybe what it was. And I think we knew what it was. There was issues on both of our ends. And the likelihood of us having children was very low. And that drive home, it was about 50-minute hour drive, was the longest drive of my life.
Yeah.
I think that I wanted to support you well, and I think that I was so broken, so sad that like I felt like I didn't even know how to support you, and I knew you were done. It was a really hard time.
Yeah, and I think there were so many different emotions, and like I said, I'm sure I know some other people, because I have kind of talked about this moment for me, but again, it was a moment, and for me, I've done a lot of different things in life. I've had a lot of opportunities, whether it was with work or any other kind of ventures where there's been ups and downs, and you really you have to just keep moving forward. And just stopping is not an option. And I think the things that I remember thinking in that moment were almost a relief too. It was like you do all these things, you become so disciplined and taking tests and going to the doctors, going to supervisor and saying, hey, like, can I get off here to go to this appointment? And for me, it's like 2 weeks ago, I had to go and do the same thing.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
think people do forget that that's a big thing. Like you kind of have to tell your job things, but not tell your job thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's every area of your life consumes you for a time.
So much of your life is wrapped up into this, and depending on how long you've been trying, I mean, that could be years.
Mm.
It is a cycle because you try something new, you wait and see, it doesn't work, you have to grieve, you move forward, you try something else, or you try the same thing again. Like, it's just, it gets exhausting and tiring. So I remember walking out being like, okay, finally, I can put this behind me and move on with my life. Mm. And I remember the analogy that I kind of had thought up in my head, because one thing I think you even coming out would have been like, okay, well, like, let's adopt, or let's do, those were some of the ideas that I know that were in your head. But the thing that was for me was, you know, again, I'm not an animal person as far as we don't have pets or anything like that. But I feel like a pet owner would relate to this. So let us know.
Understand.
Let us know.
There's a lot of animal lovers.
I imagine if you have a dog and it runs away, like day one, no, the moment that you realize that that dog is gone, you're out looking, you're searching, you're driving around the neighborhood, you're going, posting up stuff on social media, maybe the papers on the power lines and stuff like that. Day two, you're doing the same kind of thing. 3 days, 4 days later, like you're still looking around, asking neighbors. You get to a week, you know, you're probably still, okay, everybody, you know, be on the lookout. But then once it gets to like, you know, 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, it gets to a point, I would say even like 2 months later. Again, I don't know how long animals just be going out there. It gets to a point where you have to say, okay, this animal is gone. Yeah. Like, it's not coming back. And when you get to that point, you can't, maybe you can, but I feel like for me, it wouldn't be able to just be like, all right, let's go get another one. It's like,
you need that time to heal.
All of the wait and the time and the searching and just realizing what you have just lost. Yeah. And that you're not getting it back. Yeah. And it's gone. I think that was the moment for me. And it was like, okay, finally, I can move on with my life